This is Vinyl Voices Radio, ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Denman.
Jesse Sandejas. Welcome back to Vinyl Voices Radio. I'm Jesse Sandejas. He's John Denman. Today we're visiting with Coleton Black and Tom Painter from No Label Brewery, and just enjoying some country music and all the stories behind them.
It's definitely been some stories, and what you guys have missed is what the stories in the breaks.
Yeah,
Those are always the best, stuff. But those can't air on the radio. So there's that aspect. But so next song, let's jump right into it. What are we going to listen to?
I have no idea. I don't know which one's queued up.
On Track.
On Track, yeah.
Oh, here's another.
On Track. So
doozy.
yeah, we'll jump right into this song, On Track, and then we'll talk about it.
I couldn't find the words to say, so I left without goodbye, moving on to better days, without you in my life. Please tell me, mister, where I can find the next train. I gotta get on track and out of this place. I wanna ride to the end of the earth, but that might be too damn far. And I know what I'm looking for is beyond the moon and stars. In this place I've arrived in, I wanna meet all the spirits and then stay away. Maybe up in the mountains where I can let go of what I cling to. But no matter where I go, the problem comes back again and again. Please tell me whispers where I can finally let holding me. I'm already at the end of the earth, and it's just too damn far. And I know what I'm looking for is beyond the moon and stars. Feel the cold coming down. Looks like I'll leave without goodbye. Now there's no chance or time to catch another train. No, it looks like I'm at the end of the line. Please tell me, river, so that was a song about, that's not a personal thing I went through, but it's kind of written about addiction. And so the whole time he's trying to get away. You know, some of the lyrics are, get out from this grip that's holding me, want to go to the end of the earth, and it still might not be too, or it might still not be, you know, far enough. And not being able, and that was kind of one of those open-ended things where I left. It could be anybody's
vice, you know, where he's trying to get away from something, whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. And so yeah, just another depressing tune, you know. So when you said hopeful, I'm going, well, I'm glad it's being perceived maybe that way.
Yeah, I mean, I took it that way just because of like the lyric is, it feels like it's, I guess maybe the title has something to do with it too, you know.
Yeah, I mean the on track was kind of you know, and I think in the second verse he's talking about how do I get on track. But the end is kind of, you know, I finally feel the cold coming down, like he couldn't
Right.
kick the,
Couldn't do it.
couldn't kick whatever it is.
Yeah.
And finally losing the battle. And you know, so that was just kind of one of those ones I sat down, or I wasn't sitting. If you know me well, you know I pace a lot. And so I was just walking around my kitchen island, and I went, I'm going to write something kind of weird and eclectic, and that came, you know, pretty quickly in like a 20-minute span, and marked it down and went, that's all right. And then wasn't even going to put it on the album, and we got in the studio, and Stormy Cooper, who's the producer on, and we were going through some of the songs, and he goes, you know, these two sound pretty similar, and my suggestion would be to scratch one and replace it. And I said, all right, well, I wasn't prepared for this. And this is like 8 minutes before we're going to start sessions with the band. They're all in there. I go, well, I wasn't prepared for this, but what, you know, he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I have no idea. What do you suggest? And he said, I think we do On Track. And that's a different sounding song, and real, you know, got a strange but cool vibe to it. And then all the guys in the studio loved it when we were playing it. They were like, man, this is an awesome feel, and we love playing the song. And I was like, all right, well, I guess that sticks then. So
Yeah.
that's how that one, you know, that was never really a realistic. I had sent him like, you know, 30 songs and just kind of asked him what his thoughts were. And that was never in my mind a realistic option for the. And then it turned out, I mean, it turned out I love it. And it really came together with all the guys doing some cool tricks on some of the instruments in there. The guy with the B3, and he did some cool stuff on there. And so it turned out we loved it. But yeah, it was never even supposed to be, you know, never even supposed to be on there. So that's how it goes.
Where did you guys record it?
Stormy Cooper Media over in Houston. He's a good dude. He plays bass for Roger Krager, but he also, I mean, he records a ton of people around town, and yeah, he was great. Oh, you know, I didn't know I was gonna go originally to Nashville, and a bunch of things just kept falling through, and I'm going, man, you know, I was really excited to go do it, but I had always wanted to go record with him, and it just never worked out. And so I finally just said, dude, what do you think about doing the project? He loved the idea, and I was so happy I went in there because the guys were great, and it was relaxed. You know, I've known him for a while, and a lot of the guys in there knew my dad and had played with him, or my Uncle Brian, or whoever. And so it was, you know, they all had funny stories. As soon as I got in there, they were like, man, this is crazy, we're playing on your record, because I was on your dad's tour bus when the engine caught fire in 1995, you know, and I'm going, fantastic, let's go cut this record, you know. And yeah, they had some good stories to tell. So it was, you know, I didn't know how the experience was going to go. I'd never been in a studio setting where it was my stuff. I never heard any songs with a band until the day we went in. So this was all just stuff I sent of me on an acoustic guitar, and that was it. And then all of a sudden we went, all right, ready? Everybody got their charts, and we kicked in. It was like, wow, this is really cool.
Turn it
for
to a
me.
song.
I mean, it was crazy to see, like, some of the songs that were 15 years in the making or something, all of a sudden just come to life. And in ways kind of I didn't foresee happening, but just happened, and things I never would have thought would have been there, and guys doing random things on instruments that I would have never heard in my head when I originally wrote the song. And I'm going, man, that's awesome. just snapped together, and they were all so good that it just came together quick, and yeah, it was awesome.
That had to be like an out-of-body experience.
It really was. I say that was one of the
stuck in time,
craziest.
you know?
That was like that was in my I mean top moments of my life, hearing some of these songs, just finally excited. It took so long to get in the studio and do my own stuff that it really was, like you're saying, it was wild. I'm sitting there in the studio, and at some point just kind of stopped playing because all these guys are just looking at the charts, just making my music come to light. You know, I'm going, this is wild. This is a crazy experience. And then as soon as I got out, I was like, so, you know, when are we going back in? You know, when's album 2? I mean, it was like playing, you know, they're all so good, you know, such good musicians. It was like, man, I can come up with 10 more songs by tomorrow. You know, let's do these other ones.
Man, we're not done, right?
Yeah, some of these other ones I didn't ever think would have a chance at making. Let's do those.
I wrote a song about what's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So it was,
go.
it really was a fantastic experience, and yeah, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So it's been great. No matter what happens, no matter what comes of it, it's been.
That's amazing.
Been a ride.
What would have happened if you would have had somebody like call you from Nashville just to come out there and just to hear you or whatever, you played your guitar, you know, and it's like, okay, well, we'll call you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was we had a few guys that just were not available at the time, and I hate waiting and you know, waited a few months for these guys that were busy doing tours, or they're busy recording big names, and you know, I was all amped up going, man, I'm gonna go to Nashville, it's gonna be, but at the same time I'm going, man, I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where you get there, they push you through real quick, here's your songs, go, boom. And so that's why I say when it, you know, my mom always says everything happens for a reason, and so it felt really right when I went into Stormy Cooper's place, and the guys, you know, it kind of felt like a family instantly, where they were so nice and so, you know, and I don't read music I can play music, but I do it by sound. And so I went in, I was like, all right, guys, you know, before we get started, I can't read any of this shit y'all got here. And so they were like, if you have any questions, you know, but all the stories and, you know, spending time with them before we got started made me real relaxed, because I was thinking about Nashville, going, man, these guys are going to be just like, let's get this, you know, let's go, you know, I'm sure they're nice guys, but I don't think it would have been the personal kind of connection that I had at here. So it felt, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go back and change a bit of it.
I mean, it was definitely more genuine.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, some of the guys, you know, they had to leave that night, came in from Austin or came in from wherever. And you know, instead of just running through it, they were going, hold on, we need, you know, let's get this right. We ended up staying there way later, because they're going, we like this project, we want to stay, forget what's happening, you know, and it wasn't gonna be more money or anything. It was just them wanting to do the right thing and get it right in their eyes. And so that was cool to see too, as far as not just trying to run it through and go, all right, there you go, you know, here's your record in 2 hours. And so that was really genuine, you know, and
it made you feel like they're actually part of the project.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
feel like they cared.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, this is your project. Let's get this over with. Here you go. They're like, no, we're involved.
And then, and my dad, the next few days, you know, I talked to him. He was like, man, you know, Alan or whoever called me and said, man, I just recorded on your son's record, and that was awesome. You know, he seems to have it together and all that. So it was cool getting, you know, even further feedback, you know, after, and them just being excited to have been a part of it and help me. And yeah, they were great.
The songs are depressing, but you're talented as hell.
You know, yeah.
The band, uplifting.
Yeah,
uplifting. It depends.
Well, the next one's not depressing.
I think somebody had a heroin problem. Besides that, everything's great.
It's like some great wake-up music, unless you listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, what's the album called again?
Come and Get You Some.
Come and Get
which
you
is
some.
the. Oh, is there another song?
Yeah, fourth segment, right?
Yeah, we'll do another segment
Okay.
right after this.
So yeah, the next one is the title track, and it's not depressing. So.
Well, I think you're going to
Not
play that one
depressing.
live.
Oh, okay.
So even
right.
better.
Cool.
All right. Well, man, Coleton, appreciate you coming and hanging out here.
Thank you for having me, guys. Music's
really good. I'm a big fan of, like I said, of all different styles of music, but that certain old style of country music is still like holds me deep in the soul of just like waking up on and Saturdays, Sundays, waking up and just playing some old albums, some old country music, and you had that sound. So I appreciate that a whole lot. It's been a whole lot of fun talking to you.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's been a blast.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Tom, thanks for coming in too, Tom, and for the beers. And
Yeah, man, it's not no.
They aren't my beers.
well,
my
some
beers.
of them are your beers.
But I did tip the bartender at the brewery.
That is true. He did tip them very well
I
for
need
these.
$8.
Very nice. So, no, definitely want to thank Deca Beer for sponsoring this week's show for the beers. They're right here in Kingwood. If you're in the Houston area, go check them out. Frank's Pizza, always a badass sponsor, man, bringing some good food to keep the show going. And we're about to really jump into this now the show's over.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those where I want to eat a bunch of pizza before, but
Yeah.
pizza and beer doesn't really work well on camera. So it works well for radio, but not for camera. But no, I appreciate everybody for tuning in this week's show. You can find us online all over the place. Look up Vinyl Voices Radio. And on behalf of DJ Muskratch, Jason Esparza, Justin Deas, and myself, John Denman, thanks for tuning in this week. We'll talk to you next week.
I wanna bury my head and myself in this place.
This is Vinyl Voices, brought to you by Adley Law Firm, Houston's personal injury attorneys for 30 years.
Stay away. Baby, up in the mountains.